It's 10 o'clock, and I believe we do have our quorum here. Well, the great Comanche Nation is at the end of their fiscal year of 2017. We got approximately 21 more days till the end of that fiscal year. And where is our tribal administrator? Could you please stand, sir? Can we give our tribal administrator a great hand because everything is in the black? Jimmy, you have made our task so much easier. Thank you. Thank you very much. With that said, we are going to call this meeting to order, and I would like to call upon our Secretary-Treasurer, Mr. Robert Tippecanoe, for a roll call.
William Helton, Senior Chairman.
Here.
Vice Chair Susan Cawthorn.
On that, Mr. Secretary, Treasurer, our Vice Chair is helping family right now with the sickness. So.
Thank you. Secretary Treasurer Tippecanoe here. Committeeman number 1, Jonathan Polway. Here. Committeeman number 2, Eddie Odyssey. Here. Committeeman number 3, Ron Redout.
Here.
Number 4, Clyde Narkamy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. I would hope today, all of us as Comanche Nation members, American citizens, if we could all kind of stand in solidarity for what's going to happen to our American citizens down there in Florida. And I'd like for our Business Committee man, Mr. Red Elk, if you could render an invocation.
Sayata, Tomovat, Nansukai, Tanonia, Etekwa Paviterere, Sik Sok Tomovatu, Waiku, Namimaka, Sik Tavini, Namitesuna Aiku, Nami Hanika, Geta Aitaku, Nami Betsara, Saaku, Nami Mune, Oyo, Tananadami, Mohatsku, Nami Kamakat, Nami Sutai, Osunni. Amen.
Thank you. Be seated. We don't know the powers of this world until Mother Nature tells us what she's about. And it's no effect to mankind. We've always had natural disasters, but this one seems to be off the charts. We're going to go to the minutes of our August meeting. Business Committee, if you would, please look that over.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
under new and old business,
Yes, sir.
if we table anything during the regular meeting, should that be under old and new business?
Could you refer to what was tabled, sir?
Yeah, if we table something, because I noticed this meeting, I looked at it this weekend, and there's a couple of things we tabled, but how do we know we're gonna address it again?
I believe we went to discussion on one, but look to the back of the minutes of last month. There is one question which involved HR, I believe. I think we talked about it in executive, then we came out and we voted for it. By the way, this committee does not vote on anything in executive session. It's just not pertinent. But on that, Mr. Odyssey, if you could make note to your recollection what it might have been, because I believe we did resolve the issue. While they're looking this over, if you'll, people in the audience and people around the Comanche Nation world, and by the way, to the Comanche people throughout the outlying area of our 7-county jurisdiction, I think you spoke loud and clear that Comanches are everywhere, and that our nation, with the population that it has, really cannot be dictated by 200 people. So I want to say to the Comanches worldwide and all of the Comanches living without jurisdiction, you are our supreme governing body. You will always be our supreme governing body. And we have to address you just like we have to address people in Lawton, Oklahoma. We have to look upon you as the power. We understand that. This is a people-ran government, and the people that live abroad, I'd just like to thank you and just give you a hand clap. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because what you voted on was for you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Point of clarification on page 37.
Yes, sir.
I was under the impression that that was Tony Creek Road and not Pony Creek Road.
Is our transportation department here? Jimmy, what the business committee man is alluding to, we had transportation here last month, and we needed clarification on that. Could you please notate for that director that we need clarity on that? And that whatever we decide is a legal quorum, well, we can't have that syntax problem. We got to have the correct road.
Well, I know of a Tony Creek Road in the area that we were speaking of, but I don't know of a Pony Creek Road.
Pony, you know, like,
It could be.
okay.
Well,
For clarity, just check with him and get back to Mr. Red Oak, would you please? Sure. Biting that, Business Committee, as we have looked over our business of August, and thank you for getting business completed on the day and us not having to run over to another meeting. I'd like someone to bring forward a motion to accept the minutes of August 2017. And while they're doing that, how you doing there, Mr. Guerrero? If you'll look up to the this PowerPoint right here, back in November, which was really the end of our first month of our quarter, fiscal year 2017, if you look at our population at that time was 16,597. If you look where our minors are, that's 18 years to just born. There's 5,016. Our elders, and I gotta always point this out, back in 2009, our elders were only 989. Okay, and here we are, 2016, there was 1,626. That's the biggest growth that our nation has experienced in the last 5 years. And then everybody that's 18 years old to 61 years old, there was 9,955. Now we'll fast forward, going into our last month, well, our last month of the fiscal year. This is our last quarter to wrap up fiscal year 2017. There was a decrease, and it was the miners. Every month, I sign off for our miners that's had this money in trust since 2005, 12 years of per capita growing, a little bit of interest added to it. And that number has dropped. They have become new members of the supreme governing body. So when we go to miners, the ones that are coming off, we've had a drop there. So there's 4,717 miners. And it seems like our elder population has kind of stayed pretty close to where it's at. And then the ones that came off the miners' roll are now part of the supreme governing body. There's 10,398. One thing about our population, we have to be relevant to our population, to our membership. When it comes to, we knew with this big explosion, we had our budget meetings. We had 4 meetings with almost every department when we formulated the budget, and we gave it to you in April to vote on. We got it covered. What do you think there, Miss Parker? You think we got it covered with everybody that graduated? There we go. Before we had shortfalls, because really good business, it comes to numbers and knowing what your constituency needs are. When they say Comanche Business Committee, we got to take care of business. We can't come up here and play politics. So we are taking care of business. Our miners, there's been a decrease in that. But there's been a new increase from 13 to 17. What are their needs? Well, with the Comanche Nation Education Center, it's going to go live October 1. We have to be proactive there. We have to be very proactive. Because we, as a people, it says for the common well-being of all members. Common well-being of all members. That encompasses a lot. If we can grab the 13 to 17, grab the pre-K, looking at a young tribal member here right now, to give them this skill set of knowing Comanche, not only that, but knowing calculus, knowing trigonometry, knowing good grammar, syntax, giving them the life skills. To me, that is more relevant. It has to happen other than being up here as a social effort. I don't think our forefathers that came to a constitution 50 years ago wanted us to pander our people. I don't think they wanted us to have a little payout window that said, guess what, you don't really have to work, we can help you out. So it really comes down to the old adage of this. You can give somebody a fish and they'll eat for the day. But if you teach them how to fish, they can eat forever. And that's what we're tasked with. And it's a burden, but it is a burden of love. We would not be here, people, because I see what the other tribes, the other nations, pay their elected people. And these gentlemen here, and our vice chair, who is absent today, a $250 stipend. I hope the supreme governing body sees that. Other tribes pay their people $30K to do this business for the year, $50K. Some are paying $100K. We got 7 people, and we all act in consortium to the betterment of our people. And we all have to go to these other entities. It includes housing. It includes construction. It includes all the anomalies of gaming. It includes retail, the wholesale, the buying, the tax base. Our Secretary Treasurer has been working with our IRS specialists. Over the past 2 decades, business was not taken care of. And I applaud you, Robert. We've had invisible entities. We don't have a tax debt, thank God. and we don't really have a debt service. So business is being taken care of. And I bring this to the fact that right now our population is 16,798. And you'll just look at the trend. As you can see, the minors, they're absent about 300. Our elders, they've increased by 60. But here we go, the biggest one, and we were prepared for it. And it comes to education, it comes to a skill set of trade, and it comes to what's relevant now. Let's get them prepared for the future. Then, of course, it really looks, our roles, between all three of those factors, our roles has increased by 200 for the entire year. So what it's showing is that we are having a plateau right now, a plateau. What constitutes a Comanche? I think if your heart, and you even had the blood from great, great, great Gaku, that constitutes a Comanche. But at the same time, the law says anybody with 1/8 quantum of blood up to 4/4. So with that said, Mr. Kopati, I believe that's it. And hopefully I can bring this to you within each quarter of the fiscal year, the half year, and at the very end. With that said, once again, I call upon on this table for approval of the minutes of August.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of August 2017.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Narcomi. To continue, I do need a second,
I second.
and seconded by Business Committee Odyssey. Business Committee to accept August minutes, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed to not, same sign. That passes. For the record, I would like to amend our agenda. There was one gentleman that had called and followed the protocol to be on this meeting. Mr. Bryant Vogt, are you here? There he is. Business Committee, I also have a motion for methodology on stipends that needs to be discussed. So I got two items I need to amend to put into executive session.
There's one I would add to
Okay, sir? And what is that?
attendance at NCAI.
Okay, yes, sir. Did you want that in executive?
executive.
Okay. NCAI is National Congress of American Indians. We haven't been a big part of that in the last 5 years. We have to be a part of it. The POTUS, God bless him. They say just bless him. Okay. So many changes, within the government. And we are a government within a government. So National Congress of American Indians, you have 562 federally recognized tribes. We're one of them. And when you have numbers like that, you're very relevant in Washington, D.C. So I would like for someone to call upon the motion that Bryant Vogt stipend methodology and National Congress of American Indians is placed in executive session for discussion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Narcomi. To continue on, I need a second to that question.
I'll second it.
And seconded by our Secretary Treasurer. Business Committee to put these three items into our executive session. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. We're going to move forward on this meeting, everybody. Before we go into this business, Rhonda Williams, are you here? Hello, Rhonda. Rhonda, please stand up. Everybody, Rhonda is one of the top brass in our military. I am so proud to always recognize her. Could you please tell everybody your title, ma'am?
I'm a lieutenant colonel of the U.S. Army, just for a few short months, because I'm going to be retiring.
No.
Effective 1 December, and we're going to celebrate that. I'll also celebrate with my mother, who has served 45 years for the U.S. government. We're going to retire
Stand
together.
up, Mom. Go ahead. Go ahead, everybody. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Everybody, we have to recognize our veterans. As a matter of fact, I was hoping the Comanche Nation Fair Board would be here. We're wanting our veterans to have a bigger part within our Comanche Nation Fair. And Rhonda, I hope you sit with the veterans. If it wasn't for our warriors, Exapana, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have freedoms. So, with that said, Rhonda's here. Bill Rao. Bill, there he is, Bill Rao. Okay. John Carr. All right. Those three, plus Mr. Bryant Voigt, stipend methodology, and NCAI will be in our executive session. Mr. Wimavoya, the items you had, were they private, sir? Was it private or is it open meeting? Okay, all right. All right, moving forward, we'll go to resolution number 9317. And this is from enrollment. I just showed you a population, and it looks like we're going to have an increase. And let us read the law that's coming to order today. The Comanche Business Committee has been presented a list containing applicants who have filed for membership with the Comanche Nation. The list includes the names of applicants who have been verified as eligible pursuant to Article 3, Section 1C, having an 8th or more degree of Comanche Indian blood. Now therefore, be it resolved that the CBC accept the verification of eligibility for the applicants as shown on list 1069 by the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office notify the eligible applicant by letter of their approved membership, and further that the enrolled member be provided information concerning their enrollment. Business Committee, we have
$62.
62. And when I say Comanches are everywhere, we have Montana, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Florida. We have Minnesota. We have Texas. We have California. Comanches are everywhere. Business Committee to approve resolution number 9317. I do need someone to bring that question to a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 93-17.
Thank you, sir. That was Business Committee Narcomi. To continue on, I do need a second.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
And that second was Mr. Red Elk. Business Committee to approve these new members to our Comanche Nation. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And I think it is a great habit. There are 62 names. I'll go at it. Here we go. New members. And wherever you're watching in the world, hopefully grandma, grandpa, uncle, auntie, mama, dad. Give yourself a known Lulu. Katataki. Okay. Charlotte Aitson. Arnold Anderson. Flora Banks. LaBoy Barabo. Chandler Beller. Aria Brandt. Isaac Kusawun Lone Wolf. Natalie DeFate. Leo Factor. Akela Factor. Gilbert Flores III. Jaden Furr. Estella Hasley. Micah Hollinshead. Aiden Jefferson. Kyrie Jenkins. Denisha Angel Johnson. Ian Johnson. Lativia Johnson. Liliana Johnson. Ashe Casnavoid. Abigail Coakla Sherman, George Wayne Lockett Jr., Jagger Mesite, Stryker Mesite, Journey Mann, Tristan Monatachi, Echo Nicole Morgan, Liliana Mota, Kane Palmer, Michaela Phillips, Aubrey Quinones, Addison Riggs, Joby June Roberts, Lance Robinson, Mia Robles, Elijah Rodriguez, Jace Rodriguez, Amaya Sapcut, Amaya K. Sapcut, Harley Lynn Sanchez Pacheco, Tall Sanders, Kennedy Salpity, Arlena Schrock, Noah Smith, Serenity Smith, Kyle Starr, Noah Starr, Kai Tadanepa, Maxine Tisakai, Tasha Kai, because the next one is Kaylee Tisakai, Eli Turpin, Arlita Yellowfish, Jaden Yellowfish, Jeremiah Yellowfish, Brandon Wapapaw, Benjamin Wapapaw, Zane Ware, Xavier Etho Wesapapi, Drake Wilms, Carly Marie Withrow, and last but not least for this month, Jordan Louise Woma Voya. Everybody give them a hand for coming aboard. I had a commitment. My wife and I went to Colony, Oklahoma. And there was two Comanche girls that were on their program. What was so unique about this honoring of these two Comanche girls, this one was put on the roll today. And what I seen, we provided for our part of our adopted daughters from another family. We seen all the future mothers, all the future grandmothers, and it really hit me. I mean, these little moccasins are tracing the same steps of their grandmothers and great grandmothers, and it was so neat. One thing we need to do, everybody, whenever you got nothing but bad to say, just stop a little bit and just grab a young one and hug them and love them and just teach them a good way. All right. Thank you, Business Committee. And here we go. Resolution number 9417. Forgive me if I go off like that, but it's been a great week. It has. All right. Resolution number 9417. This is authorizing Comanche Nation to renew Public Law 93-638 self-determination contracts with higher education, adult education, and job placement and training programs. Ms. Parker, you do have the floor, ma'am. All right.
I just want to say thank you all for supporting us. We have had an influx of a lot of students here lately. We are just like running around like a chicken with our heads cut off, but we just embrace them. They are our clients. We see them as clients. We treat them as clients. And we're so excited that these students are coming in. Some of them felt like they couldn't come in for so many years, and the word is getting out that they can return back to school and they can get their scholarships, and we're just excited, and thank you all for supporting our programs.
Great. Thank you. What it is, our gaming gives a lot to higher education. But at the same time, before we even had any other revenue, we had self-determination money that provided for people that wanted to go to college or to vo-tech. You know, back in the 70s, I don't tell my age, no, don't tell my age. Back in the 70s, there wasn't that much money. So, you had to flip some burgers at Burger King. You had to go after it. You know, you had to hustle if you really wanted to get that education. And to go out of state, boy, that was rough, you know. Thank God I had a relative where I went to college at. And, you know, I owe her so many breakfasts and suppers. And anyway, this money is the federal money that helps us. So, with that said, the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian tribe with the Constitution approved by the Secretary of the Interior on January 9th, 1967, to safeguard tribal rights, powers, and privileges. And the tradition of our sovereignty of the Comanche Nation since time immemorial long predates the existence of the nation, establishes the inherent sovereign powers and rights of the Comanche self-government. And whereas the proposed term of the multi-year contract shall be from January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2020, and whereas the Comanche Business Committee will renew existing Public Law 93-638 self-determination contract, higher education, adult education, and job placement and training programs. This resolution authorizes the Comanche Nation Business Committee Chairman to sign Public Law 93-638 contract renewals and/or funding agreements. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the CBC today authorizes the Comanche Business Committee Chairman to sign and renew Public Law 93-638 self-determination contracts. That is what we need to approve today. This is in the form of a question, so I need a motion to continue.
I'll make that motion to accept resolution 94-17.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Odyssey, and thank you for the second, Mr. Narcomi. Business Committee to approve resolution number 9417. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Resolution number 9417 did pass. Ms. Stenographer. Since we're off high risk, Ms. Parker, has there been any increase in that? The federal money at all?
No.
Okay.
No, that's coming up in January.
All right, great.
I mean, we get small amounts that are
Okay.
given to us, you know, so I guess that would be considered an increase, yeah. a little bit.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is that, the government money, does that have to do with, how many students we provide for?
No, that's impact money for public schools. What this is our actual money that comes to nation for the education of our people, for higher education.
I know, but does it, if we get more students going to college, does it give us more money?
Well, this is a government. Julia, you know how to answer
Well, it
that.
has to work on some kind of formula.
Well, that's just it, sir. This is the United States government, and they're really, everything, when it comes to resolutions from HUD to education to even the infrastructure that the POTUS speaks of, everything's just a standing resolution without passage. And I think us as taxpayers, we're American citizens too. Us as taxpayers, we need to demand, get it done. You know, just don't let it sit there and then wait around and say, oh, we're broke, we need to have a government shutdown. Which is being rumored about right now. And Robert and I, we were talking about Hurricane Harvey, what it did to Texas, and the amount of money our taxpayers had to come up with. Well, you know, Washington, D.C. was built by American taxpayers' money. So here we are, we've got this other catastrophe coming up. So it's going to take a big hit on the United States economy. It's a big question there, Odyssey. I can't give the answer. You know, it's entirely up to Congress, the Senate, and eventually the POTUS for approval or veto. Did that answer you, sir?
That's fine.
Okay. It is a big question. If anybody has that answer, please give it to me. Vern, you got an answer for it? I don't got an answer for it. All right. Going forward to resolution number 9517. a resolution authorizing Comanche Nation to change the financial assistance rates in the job placement and training program and direct employment program. Ms. Parker, is this part of your services also?
Yes, it's our JPT program.
Okay.
That program, it's the increase for basically the 638 part of that program, not the CMG part of it.
Right, okay.
Because they're the ones that get the stipend, is only the ones that are part of the 5-county area.
Right,
In this
right.
area. And so the issue is that it hasn't been raised due to, for many years, and I don't know exactly how many years. We asked the people in the department that has been there for a while, we're like, why? It's been the same since I've been here, it's been the same since I've been here. And really, the students need extra money. They get a stipend, they get a choice of either going to, we pay their tuition, or we give them a stipend. And a lot of times when we pay their tuition, they get that, I mean, when we don't pay their tuition, they get that from their Pell.
Right.
So these are students that are going full-time, and they can't afford to get a job. A lot of them are parents that have children, head of household. And so what we're asking, and I'm going to let Bonnie give the logistics of what we're asking.
And this is Bonnie Lemon. She's a
the
specialist of this part, so Miss Bonnie, go right ahead.
Okay, these students are attending vocational schools in the 5-county area full-time. There are a few part-times, and right now the stipends are set between $5 and $6.50, depending on what program you're in and whether or not you have dependents.
Who can live on
No one. And we've got students that are struggling to buy lunches, struggling to get transportation, struggling to put gas in their vehicles to make it to school, and being that it's a full-time program, we're asking to increase that across the board to $8 if they do not have dependents, and $10 an hour if they do have dependents.
Good enough. Have a seat, ladies. Let's give it up to those moms out there trying to go to school. Let's help them out. And all you dads out there, you know, there's dads out there raising kids. There's a big group of them. We don't ever give them kudos. Thank you, dads, for hanging in there. Hold on, sir. So resolution number 9517, let me just go right to it, okay? These proposed changes shall be effective immediately and throughout the term of the multi-year contract from January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2020. And the good thing about this, bringing it forward now, fiscal year 2018 jumps off October 1, so this is good. Whereas the job placement and training program desires to increase the biweekly maintenance stipend upon certifying an application, will provide a biweekly maintenance stipend to cover living expenses, professional clothing, transportation. Stipend will be paid at the rate of 8 per hour with no dependents and 10 per hour to students who have dependents, or tuition assistance in the amount of $2,500 per semester. Now that is the grant award for making good grades, which is $2,500. So, or $10,000 maximum total assistance for tuition. Now that's for 4 years, correct? Okay, and $300 per semester.
She said 2 years.
2 years? Oh yeah. Well, keep in mind, what 70s and 80s, it's increased. So.
It's 4 semesters.
I understand. Okay, all right. And $300 per semester for additional support services not to exceed $1,200 maximum, total support services. Tuition, books, supplies, fees, and support services as listed in CFR Title 25, Section 2618. If the VOTEC school is continuous, not divided into individual semesters, the initial 525 clock hours of completion shall be considered the equivalent of a standard semester. Ms. Lemon, 525 clock hours, what would you call that? A term for VOTEC, or what is that?
Yes, because some VOTECs, for example, Great Plains and Kiowa, are divided into actual semesters. They're
Okay.
mimicked after Cameron. But
Okay.
we have others, such as Platt or a cosmetology school, that are accredited and considered to be funded under the BIA that go continuous. So if the program is 12 months, they don't have any breaks.
I understand.
So that's why we put it in there like that.
Business committee, you understand that part? Okay. A second and subsequent payment of $2,500 will be provided for the remainder of hours required to complete the program. Additional and subsequent payments may be provided for students completing longer programs. Total payments for tuition assistance shall not exceed $10,000. Total payments for students receiving a stipend shall not extend beyond the course of 24 months. That's 2 years. Students who are required to attend summer school shall receive tuition assistance or a stipend in accordance with the hours they are attending. Whereas the direct employment program, upon certifying an application, will provide the following one-time subsistence payment. And if you don't mind, I'm going to label it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that okay? Okay, 1. Applicants obtaining part-time permanent employment will be paid a one-time subsistence payment of $300. 2, applicants obtaining full-time permanent employment who are not head of household and who do not have dependents will be paid a one-time subsistence payment of $400. 3, applicants obtaining full-time permanent employment who are either head of household or who have dependents will be paid a one-time subsistence payment of $500. And then we go to 1, 2, 3, then to 4. Applicants obtaining full-time permanent employment who are both head of household and who have dependents will be paid a one-time subsistence payment of $600. Now, therefore be it resolved that the CBC hereby authorizes the Comanche Business Committee Chairman to sign and authorize the new changes to the Job Placement and Training Program, which back in the day they used to call it JTPA, and Direct Employment Program. Gentlemen, I have brought it forward, but we had Committeeman Odyssey with a question. Yes, sir, I'll entertain your question.
I was just wondering, these increases, how much is that gonna be money-wise? How much is that gonna increase to? Do you have any estimate?
Well, we looked it over yesterday, we talked about it, even a few weeks ago, but, when we looked at paying tuition versus the stipend, it was very, very close, very close. It may just be a few dollars over, depending upon how many hours the student is taking. Like, some of them are just 3 hours a day and some are 6. So, but they don't go to school more than 6 unless they do clinicals.
And also, we usually have a carryover in our BIA funds for this particular program, and we wanted to come up with a way that that money would go directly to the students as opposed to supplies or any other type
Okay.
of
That's what I
office
want.
supplies or anything. We want that going directly to them. And it's really necessary with the struggles that they have that we've experienced.
I understand.
Okay, I just want to know where the money was gonna come from.
Rhonda, do you know the dollar amount for the GI Bill now? We're going back to school?
I apologize, I don't. You know, at one time, it was up to $40,000.
There you go.
But
There you go. See, there you go. It's, we're kind of behind. But at the same time, we're making a great effort.
And that figure was almost 15 years ago.
Wow, okay, there you go. So, just like this, it's almost like a COLA, cost of living allowance. But then again, we gotta remember, just to survive in America today, you need to be making 12 or above. You know, just to survive. All right, resolution number 9517 is on this table. To move it forward, Business Committee, I am calling for a motion.
I'll make a motion we accept 9517.
Second.
Motion by Odyssey, seconded by Mr. Narcombe. Business Committee Resolution number 9517 is on the table for approval. Those to approve, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those that object, same sign. Resolution number 9517 has passed. Today, we have a resolution of the CBC to establish a minimum standards of character and suitability for employment policy. This was one item that was tabled. We're bringing it back, and I got to give a full explanation on my part that it's going to be covered like icing on the TA's part. Okay. In the real world, and in the government structure, in the state structure, and in organizational structure, you do have to have minimum standards of character and suitability for employment. You have to. You just have to. I can give some terrible analogies. Terrible analogies is, I had a really great friend that passed away. He worked for the post office in Edmond. We played softball together. And a lot of people did not know that one of the employees there had PTSD. How many remember the Edmond postal shootings? How many remember that? It was a while ago. My friend was shot in the head. Now, I'm giving a drastic analogy here, but if it could have been the standard then, what prompted that, what prompted most things that's happening in the workforce today, the government came up with this practice. It's practiced in the higher brass in the United States, Army, Navy, Marines, every one of them. With that said, I built it to, that's a major analogy, but, if they had this in place, you wouldn't have somebody that carries off your children that's working for children. So we're in the 21st century. It's a different type of world. It's not a very trusting world anymore. So this is a standard. So Mr. Atterbury, these are your employees, sir. We are elected business committee people. We do not hire, we do not fire, sir. Could you please address us again so we can move forward on this resolution?
Yes, actually, this was brought forward by our compliance officer. I understand that she's here to answer any questions you guys may have, but I understand that for years they've tried to get this in place to protect our children. Some of you may be aware, some of you not, but we've had, some of our kids that have been affected because we had employees in programs that actually created a detriment to those youth. Fortunately, the law provided that they ended up being penalized, but it's something that our compliance officer has brought forward. So, Ms. Carty, if you'll stand, please, and explain why we need this and why you have brought this before the committee.
Okay. When I first started in compliance in 2013, I went through all the tribal policies, and I found out we didn't have a policy protecting our children. So what this is creating a tribal policy, and it's only going to be for 6 programs, and you cannot have any assault. There's certain crimes, a drug felony. You can't have, it's all in here in the policies. I don't know if you've read it or not, but it's for social services, all positions, Indian child welfare, law enforcement, commission officers only. And I've gone over this with Vern and Shirley and HR. Children's shelter, of course, youth program, of course, and I'm Indian, all positions. So it's just 6 programs. It's not across the board. I know we have 80 programs, but it's not, it doesn't affect those. It's only if you work with children or if you have control over children. Right. And what will happen is it'll be effective immediately after you pass it. It'll be inserted into the HR policies, and that's why it was tabled back in June, because I thought that it was going to be inserted into the new HR policies, but it wasn't even mentioned. Right. And and this is kind of important. Tribal leadership has a responsibility to protect Comanche children, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what this is doing. This is a policy that keeps people with, that don't meet the minimum standards of character and suitability. It keeps them from working with our children.
Thank you, Denise. And thank you for your great job of doing compliance.
Also, whenever the tribe was put on high risk, there was a report back in 2007 or 8, and the BIA suggested that we create this policy because we receive federal funds.
But just stand right there. Everybody, the person that had 80%, well, no, it was 50-50. The TA and the compliance officer, they're a great task that got us up high. Just stand there and wait. One of the best hires we made. Thank you, Denise. All right. Back to my story. The person that did that up there at Edmond, he had a heroin problem. So that was his whole, so it fits right into this. Okay. The CBC recognizes that no resource is more valuable to the tribe's continued existence than its children. And the CBC has a direct interest in protecting children. The CBC is the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. And this is a big part of our self-government. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee hereby approves of minimum standards of character and suitability for employment policy to be supplemented in the Comanche Nation Human Resources Policies and Procedures Manual. Pursuant to Introduction, Section 4, Amendment of the Comanche Nation Human Resources Policies and Procedures Manual, page 7. These policies may be amended and supplemented or superseded at any time by resolution of the CBC. Upon passage of this policy, Chapter 9, Section 9.0, in the Comanche Nation Human Resources Policies and Procedures Manual, it is to take effect immediately. Business Committee, I bring forward resolution number 6217, a question, and I do need a motion for acceptance or denial.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 62-17.
Motion made by Mr. Narcomi. A second to continue, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Seconded by Business Committee Red Elk. Business Committee to accept resolution number 6217. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And for the record, if anybody wants to look up these minimum standards of character and suitability, this is, I think, do we have that? Right. Right. Okay, there we go. And that would be on the public listing of 101-630, the Indian Child Protection and Family Violence Prevention Act, and Public Law 101-647, the Crime Control Act of 1990, and the Child Care Worker Employee Background Checks. You know, we do take care of children. We do take care of many different situations. Something at the house is just not right. And I'm glad we step in. I'm glad Vern and his group can go out and bring protection to volatile situations. That's a good form of government. Okay, we're moving forward to resolution. Did we get that, Ms. Stenographer? Okay, ma'am. Resolution number 9617. TA or council or Vern? Okay. Go right ahead, Vern.
Okay, we are applying for a grant through the District County Council, and it's up to $10,000. We're going to use it for body-worn cameras. This was previously approved, however, the grant was pulled back because of funding.
Okay.
Now they're re-announcing it, so we need to do this again.
Gotcha. We approved it last time. Business Committee for a flow through on this is almost like an executive act, but at the same time, I don't. Do you need the resolution to submit it? Okay.
As part of submittal process.
Okay, there we go. All right. Resolution number 9617. It comes to this. It is therefore resolved that the Comanche Nation reaffirms its law enforcement service commitment to the nation by approving the submittal of a grant under the Justice Assistance Grant Local Law Enforcement, JAG-LLE, under the Oklahoma District Attorney's Council. This grant is available for state, municipal, and tribal agencies in the state and will be used for purchase of body-worn camera systems to be used by the patrolmen. Amount of grant award is $10,000. To move forward, I need a motion, please.
I got a question. How many cameras will we get
That
for
would
this?
be 8.
8? I'll make a motion, we accept 9617.
Okay?
Second.
And seconded by Mr. Narcomi. That was a motion by Odyssey and then seconded by Narcomi. Business Committee to move forward for this grant, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? I do need to hear ayes, or I have to go to voice vote, guys. Yeah, yeah. We might have to change that on the hall.
Oh.
Oh, all right. 9617 did pass. Resolution number 9717. Vern, does this deal with,
This is our contract we have with Comanche County Detention Center for our adult incarcerations.
okay, very good. We're going to move forward on this. Resolution number 9717. Once again, we are tasked as a CBC to bring this business forward for the benefit and behalf of the Comanche Nation. It is therefore resolved that the Comanche Nation reaffirms its law enforcement service commitment to the nation by strengthening its law enforcement activities by continuing this agreement with Comanche County Detention Center, CCDC, to provide adult detention for the Comanche Nation. The CCDC will provide services at its facility in Lawton, Oklahoma for adults at the new rate designated in the contract beginning 10/1, which is October 1, 2017. Specific terms are identified in the attached contract between the governing bodies of each entity. We have a letter here from William Hobbs. He's part of Comanche County Detention Center. And it also has a resolution that was made by Comanche County Facilities Authority and Comanche Nation Tribe of Oklahoma agreement. With this said, resolution number 9717 to continue, I do need a motion.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
These individuals we sent to the county here, do they take care of them medically and everything? And do they bill us extra for that? Any kind of service that they need extras?
Yes. They handle them once they're processed. Should they need to go to the hospital,
Or they need medicine?
they would be taken there.
And they need medicine, they'll get it for them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's
Now-
gonna be more than the $42 per day.
Well, if they take them to the Indian Hospital, they still have care there under their own policy.
Okay, I was just wondering, I saw.
It was increased $10 a day. It had not been increased since 2005, I think. It was the last time we negotiated the contract. And obviously with our transparency, they know that our budget has gone up. So they said they want their share of the pie.
Boy. Well, it's the cost of living everywhere.
I got a question for Vern.
Yes, sir.
On this letter from that jail administrator, William Hobbs,
Yes, sir.
he says it's almost been 9 years since we signed an agreement with the tribe. And at that time, it was $42 per day per inmate. What will it be for 2018 or
It's in the
17?
contract. I think it goes up $10.
It's just, how much?
$10 a day.
So just up to 50?
52.
Oh, 52.
Now, the other federal entities that had contracts with us went up much higher. They wanted us to do the same rate, and I said I couldn't because I didn't have that in my funds. So we negotiated at a $10 increase per inmate per day.
Well, it comes to this, people, do we just pull someone over that just beat up grandma and just let them go, or?
Well, No, part of our 638 contract with the Bureau requires us to have a
I
contract
get
for
you, I get
detention.
you. I just made an analogy. All right. Humor, gosh, not even humorous. Honestly, we got our court. It's coming live. We're being pushed back a little bit. The court is so relevant because the court pays for itself. We do have the standard for non-Comanches and anybody else. An alien from Mars acting up on trust lands going through this court. And they will be fined. You know, the thing about it is, a lot of people living abroad, the only people that win in court is the court, is the judges, and the police. So don't do the crime. That's all I can say. We make mistakes sometimes, all the time, but that's just how it is. All right, resolution number, is it relevant to this, ma'am?
Yes, it is. I need to ask a question.
Sure.
Are the judges that we have now, they were appointed, and are they lifetime judges? Because they can't hear, they can't understand. So, I mean, you know, what was that? I didn't hear that. What did you say? You know, I mean, you need to appoint new judges.
Well, with this
that's a
court,
suggestion.
yes, with this court, I'm going to bring it right to our TA with this core group and what we've done, the codification of our court. Our judges, please tell Ms. Aitson how it's going to work.
So, yes, I understand what you're saying, but when the court is implemented, actually have legal experts, real judges that will be able to adjudicate the issues. So the current judges we have, they understand, and we're thankful to have judges, you know, that have carried us this far, you know, even though they're appointed, you know, by the committee. So they're very well aware that they'll try to be assumed by the judges. So when the RFP goes out, we'll have qualified judges that have to have experience, license, you know, through the Bar Association. So, yeah.
Well, with that, you need to send people out to get trained to be judges.
Right.
That
Well,
would be-
the court won't do that. We'll have an RFP where we'll actually have the judges that will be solicited to fill those seats.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Ms. Aitson, request for proposal is more than likely. We have some great judges in our Comanche that work kind of worldwide, nationwide. We have to get two. We have to have two. And of course, having an Oklahoma Bar Association and all, you know, so it's going to be relevant to your question.
Well, we'll have a minimum of two.
Yes.
We could have up to 6, but we'll have 6 judges, 3 at the district and then 3 at the appellate. So we hope to have 6 judges, but we have to have a minimum of 2 Comanches.
I did a research, you guys, and courts make money. Wow. Golly, they make a lot of money. You can't look at it as a revenue maker, but it's just the nature of the beast. You know, they actually take care of themselves. Some of that flow over money goes to the police force, so I think we can trim Vern's budget. No, okay. All right, with that said, guys, back me up, Ms. Stenographer. I believe I presented it. Are we at the point to accept it?
We need a motion and a second.
Okay. Resolution number 9717 is on the table, gentlemen.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Secretary Treasurer to continue to accept it for approval. I need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
All right, and a second by Mr. Redo. And an
Mr.
echo by
Narcomi.
Mr. Narcomi and an echo by Redo. There we go. All right. Business Committee, resolution number 9717 to approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those that do not approve, same sign. So, Mr. Byrne, I've got one question. We approved this.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get all of these people, from the chair, vice member, an attestment from each one, from the DA, John Fleur, from the county clerk, Carrie Tubbs. And of course, you guys,
County Commissioner.
and the county commissioner. Did they approve their resolution?
After we approved, I will carry it down there. They meet
Okay.
monthly, they meet weekly at the, on Mondays.
Okay. TA, can you make sure we get that back here? So, well, you'll have it for record, right? Vern? You keep, okay, all right, there we go. All right, Vern, I understand Sac and Fox, they have, how long have we used the Sac and Fox Nation?
I would say about 6 or 7 years now.
Okay. It's been a decade.
They're about the only one now in the state for juvenile.
Okay. All right. You know, we have 39 recognized tribes here in Oklahoma, and like he alluded to, there's only one tribe that actually has a detention center for youth. So I'm coming forward with resolution number 9817. The CBC is duly elected to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. So it is therefore resolved that the Comanche Nation reaffirms its law enforcement service commitment to the nation by strengthening its law enforcement activities by continuing the agreement with the Sac and Fox Nation to provide juvenile detention for the Comanche Nation. The Sac and Fox, or Meskwaki, will provide services at its juvenile facility at Stroud, Oklahoma, for juveniles aged 12 through 18 for fiscal year 2017-2018, which is really, is that 2 years combined?
No, sir. The sacrifice contract is renewed annually.
Okay. All right. To kick off on January 1.
No.
To kick off on October
They changed
1.
it quarterly. They changed to the fiscal year,
Okay.
1 October.
Okay. Specific terms are identified in the attached contract between the governing bodies of each nation. Before I present it to the business committee, Vern, what is the history, what is the average of our nation taking youth up there? The average number?
I would say about 5 or 6 per year.
5 to 6.
Depending on some cases, we have extended stays up there for some juveniles issues.
Okay. If we did not have this, you know, it's always about who, what, when, where. If we did not have this, who, what, when, where,
I tried to work with the state on getting us access to JBC here in Lawton. They don't have the best space to support us. New Mexico would be our next avenue.
the sad fact is, if we did go through state services, it seems like it's a training course to be Al-Qaeda, you know, to be a worse criminal. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, that's just how you gotta see it.
I-
Do you understand that, council? Okay. We can't really send our, is it native based? Is it,
Yes, sir.
okay? Do they come out better, Vern?
I think so.
Okay, I agree. I agree.
We have had some juveniles that have extended stay at Sac and Fox, and we've not had repeat issues with them.
Right.
So,
There's one, I'm gonna allude to this, Vern, I'll pick right back up on it. 6 years ago, there was a young man, had a lot of trouble. He went there. And now he sings at the drum, now he works, he's married, and he's kind of put everything behind him. And you know what he says? He said, if I really didn't go up there, those Ponca boys that taught me these songs, I would have never learned it. And he says, I was that close becoming a tutavo. I was this close becoming cholo youthavo. Or I was that close to being a pozarayo. So what does that mean? He was there, and at least some Indian boys that had gotten in trouble, they shared with him song, and it kind of touched his heart, and kind of changed him. So even just one. Here we go. Resolution number 9817. Business Committee, you heard what it is. So to move forward on this, I do need a motion, please.
Make the motion. 9817.
Okay,
Approved.
all right. Motion made by Tippecanoe. I do need a second to continue.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
Okay. Mr. Rideout, second. All right. Business Committee to bring this forward for our youth to continually go up to the Stroud area, and hopefully they can get a good change. Signify by saying aye to approve.
Aye.
All those that are not in favor of this resolution, same sign. Resolution number 9817 did pass. For the last week, everybody, we have kind of hit our gaming commission, our gaming board. Hold on, Gabby. Our gaming commission, our gaming board, our tax commission. No longer can we be status quo and say, oh yeah, just do what you want throughout the year. So we've been tasking them for a long time to bring forward a very relevant, a very business-like matrix of what they expect they're going to make and what is your budget for the year. It's not a matter of cutting to the bone. It's a matter of having the skill set to bring forth a budget that we can understand and that we will follow. And then if we have a shortfall, we can do a modification within quarters as business. I got to admit to our nation, for the last 5 years in these 3 quadrants, you have not had really good budgeting processes. They're what I call a flat budget. It just bring you up to speed on flat budgets. It's just saying, we want this. And they don't even give you a reason why. So why they passed, I'll never know. It would have been laughed out in the real world, and progressive tribes that do sustain good credibility and accountability call for strict budget adherence that has to show relevance. What is your cause? What is your effect? What is the end? What are we supposed to do? So, you know, it's not even a play on words. You got to be A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Business people out there have to have a standard. You have to have a parameter to meet. We can't even reach back to a parameter to meet because it wasn't followed too well. So with that said, one part that we had a situation where we borrow from the tax commission to build something. That's bad practice. You can't do that. Okay, you can't borrow from gaming to go and build something here. You know, that's Peter from Paul to Mary to George. That's almost called misappropriation of funds. You can't do things like that. You have to disclose things like that. People get mad at me because I follow a business standard. You have to meet your objection by the true economic base of what you're projecting. And I stand firm on it. And it benefits our nation. Business is clear. Business is good. But one thing, numbers are real. So the business committee gets mad at me. These people get mad at me, and I don't really care because I am here to protect the 17,000 and to bring you the best product we can. So there was a situation. I'm bringing this up because it's relevant to resolution number 9917. Anybody that brings revenue to your people, anybody, do we allow the revenue makers to have to pay a note off to this guy? And let me put it to you this way. Here, we're 3 Comanche entities, business, 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 okay? Well, somebody that was an elected leader said, hey, business, give this guy money. He's making money. I'm trying to make money for you. They're trying to make money for you. I'm sitting there going, well, where's the effective? Oh, I'm going to pay you money like you're a bank because you gave me that money. Wait a minute, we all make revenue for the nation. And that's what it is. I can't explain it any differently, so I'm going to read forward on this. And any questions, please bring it out. I don't want to confuse you, so here we go. Resolution number 9917. The Business Committee. Once again, we are duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. And the main thing, we are here to safeguard tribal rights, powers, privileges to improve the economic, moral, education, and health of its members. It is therefore resolved that the Comanche Nation relieves, we relieve the Comanche Nation Smoke Shop of payment to the Comanche Nation on a loan. Hold on. The government people, you are the government. Each year you vote for every line item that everybody works under. Now, did you guys vote for one of these programs to give a loan to build a smoke shop? No. No. Okay. That's it in a nutshell. Okay. So what we're doing here, we want to relieve the Comanche Nation Smoke Shop of payment to the Comanche Nation on a loan from the Comanche Nation to the Comanche Nation Smoke Shop for the construction of the Red River Travel Plaza. So,
Yes, sir.
we are here to relieve a debt that should have never even came out of here. How many services did that cut? How many people did not go to school then? And of course, we know the over expenditures, you know, out of order items such as getting kids out of jail and getting people cars, and you know, we don't have programs that says GACU gets kids out of jail. You know, we didn't vote on that. You know, we didn't vote on, hey, we're taking a powwow trip to Canada, give us $2,000. We didn't vote on that. There's not a program that says give money to powwow. You know, I'm not poking fun. This is just not what a government should do. You should not do that. So, Gabby, you have a question?
Wasn't that smoke shop dissolved, or the entity or whatever, wasn't it, or, I don't know. I thought it was one of those 10 or 12 corporations that were dissolved.
Oh, you mean the LLC from Chicago that was
I thought
wanting
that
free
was one.
money for nothing? Yeah.
I thought they
And I hope
don't
you're
exist
watching.
no more.
I hope you're watching.
Yeah.
I don't get that part. I mean, where does a nation partner up with an LLC from Chicago that gives us $20 a stick cigars? Do we have a market? Do we have a market for that, Mr. Rao? Do we have a market for $20 stick cigars, sir? Okay. This gentleman owns Country Corner in a smoke shop.
Oh,
Yes.
that was an exotic cigar one that was
Right. Okay.
dissolved. Okay.
That's dissolved. So.
Okay.
All we're
My
doing
bad.
here, Gabby, I hope you do not take us left here. This is a very serious situation. I am calling for the business committee to a motion to move forward on this, to relieve debt, allow them to make revenue to bring it back to our nation. So
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 99-17.
Okay. Motion to approve, but do need a second to get this done.
I second it.
Okay, motion and second. We are ready for the vote. Resolution number 9917, Business Committee, please signify by a aye that I can hear to approve, please.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All those that do not want to relieve this debt, same sign. Resolution number 9917 has passed. Retail. The retail people that work, there's some that work 24/7. Make the money out there. You got 5 entities out there. Bring it to our people. Thank you. And I'd like to give a hand clap to the CBC for that. Thank you. All right. Dennis, could you please come forward on this, please? And just in a nutshell, and Grellner, I wish you would pipe in on this.
is that one on that land we went visit.
I hope you guys want to,
Couldn't name
our
that for
audience and ourselves. This is Ryan, Oklahoma. First off, Rick, could you go on ahead and tell us why we have to do this? Briefly. Briefly.
Well, this is an allotment that the CBC had previously identified as a potential location for a new gaming facility in the very southeast corner of the KCA former area, and so inside the boundaries. And so it's 2 miles west of Bryan, and it's the closest one to the Red River and 81 Highway. And we
Can you give the big picture?
we had identified this as being within the limits of the 25-mile radius that had been changed in 2008, 50 to 25 miles for IGRA. And keep in mind,
That's Indian Game and Regulatory Act?
for being able to object to potential competitors. And so we have a potential competitor that's 10 miles away, and this location is very important. The second thing is that the compact is 45 miles, and we have a location on the Red River that's within 39 miles of that. So we're using that also. So we wanted to bolster both sides, and down the road it could be economical to write infrastructure and everything put together. So
Thank you. In a nutshell, the encroachment from another tribe could really hinder our finances for the next 5 years coming, and we have to attack it. To sit there and ignore it, we're silly. We're not going to allow our coffers to be cut by a quarter, not by an eighth, but not by nothing.
Real quick to clarify, Chairman, this resolution was already passed last fall. I think it was November or December. We're just clarifying the allotment and the intended use so that we're being upfront.
Okay. I think he answered it all, Dennis, pretty much. Okay. Can you tell me the status? Have we gone out and done the survey of the 5 acres?
We went out and taped the 5 acres off. We didn't have it surveyed because we was in a hurry to see where it was going to go. And so based on the description of the north half for the northeast quarter, the northeast quarter, the northwest quarter, that basic dimension is 330 by 660. So we taped that off out in the field and put markers down where the corners of that track would be. Okay. And taping it versus surveying it, it could be off anywhere from 6 inches to a foot.
Okay.
Possibly, but for what we feel that's good enough for what we need. So if you want us to have a survey, we can do that.
Whatever the Bureau wants to do, we do.
Well, I don't think the Bureau is just looking at the description.
Okay, good.
Not necessarily the survey, so the description is good.
Okay, it's not rocket science, really.
That's true.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, moving forward here. The Comanche Business Committee, once again, we are conducting business this monthly meeting. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee has determined that it is in the best interest of the Comanche Nation to lease certain real property described as north 1/2, northeast 1/4, northeast 1/4, northwest 1/4, section 23, T6S, R8W, IM, Indian Meridian, Jefferson County, Oklahoma, containing 5 acres, located approximately 2 miles west of Ryan, Oklahoma. And whereas the Comanche Business Committee has considered the terms of the negotiations and has determined that leasing this property to be the best interest of the Comanche Nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the CBC hereby authorizes Comanche Nation Chairman William Nelson Sr. to pursue the lease of this 5-acre tract at a fair market price for possible game and purposes, and sign the documents. Mr. Stephen Lee. Mr. Lee, would you please stand, sir? He's done all the professional legwork on this. We gave him a list of A to H On that list of A through H to do, sir, where are we at from A to H?
Number one, we've terminated the lease with Casebolt. My name's Stephen Lee. I work with the Realty and Land Acquisition. I've been there since 2013. Thank you for recognizing me, sir.
Yes, sir.
CBC. On that list, as I said, Mr. Casebolt, we've terminated that lease, excuse me. Also, the power of attorney. I don't know how much you want me to discuss since,
The
yeah.
thing is, our Comanche people need to be relevant in what we're doing here.
What we've done and what we haven't, basically, is we've terminated the lease. We've ordered the ESA, environmental assessment.
There
And
you
the
go.
rest is, yeah, we're waiting. Like I said, I don't know how much to disclose,
Okay,
but
that's good, right there.
it's underway, it's gonna get
Okay.
done. We're in good shape.
As far as the Bureau,
Yes,
Realty, everything's
it's clear.
very
Yes.
good. Thank you, sir. All right. Business Committee, we've heard from the attorney. We've heard from the director, the man that's been tasked to get this done. Resolution number 100-17 is on this table for a motion to move forward.
Can I raise a question?
Sure, go right ahead, sir.
I know we've worked on this. And the now therefore be resolved, if you jump down to the bottom line where we say fair market price for, shouldn't we just say gaming purposes?
Well, we better say fair, or somebody's gonna say, give us
Well,
a
I
million
say fair,
bucks.
no, I say fair market price for, but strike possible? Just-
Yes, strike, for the record, Business Committee, I just want to ask you guys, can we strike possible? And for us to strike possible, could somebody signify by saying aye?
I make that motion.
Okay, motion made, second for an aye to strike,
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
okay? All in agreement, please signify by saying aye to strike possible. North end of CBC, I did not hear an aye. Gentlemen, to strike possible. Once again, I'd like to call for approval. Please signify by saying aye.
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 Are we gonna have to go to voice vote? on
They
that?
said aye.
Okay, good. I can't hear. All right. That did pass, to strike. Okay, there we go. With that said, with this approval of correction, resolution number 100-17 is still on the table. We did have a motion. We did have a second, I hope. Okay,
No, we don't have.
We don't have
We don't have
a
a motion.
okay. Johnny, could I call upon you to, in a good way, bring a motion forward for approval on doing this?
Got a question too, about the survey, so they don't make it more set in stone or just by taping it off? I'd like to see a survey.
Would you?
I think it would be the legal process perhaps. I just don't want to make a mistake and not, leave a T uncrossed or an I.
You know, I'm with Johnny on this. I'm sorry, council. I'm sorry. Please, please. I think we have to go to discussion, maybe table this and discuss it in executive, come back out in open meeting and bring it forward again. Because I'm like Johnny, I want everything to the point. It's too important. We're trying to stop the encroachment. That's going to take a lot of our revenue because it's going to take our customer base. Comanche people, you got to understand, 60% to 70% of your money comes from Texas. And we are there to entertain Texas people, Gaming is entertainment, that's what it is. So, I'm with Johnny on this. Can we go on ahead?
I make a motion to move this to executive session.
Motion made by Tippecanoe to move it to executive session. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Johnny. To move this to executive session, please signify by saying aye, Business Committee.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed to this, same sign. All right. For the record, move to executive session on resolution number 117. we've worked really diligently on this since we've heard of it. We started this in November, so we're not ignoring anything that attacks our nation, but we want to be spot on. All right, moving forward to resolution number 10717.
101.
Oh, is it 101? It sure is, okay. Resolution number 10117. The Gaming Commission is authorized to continue to operate into fiscal year 2018, beginning October 1, 2017, under the terms of the proposed 2018 budget until the Comanche Nation Business Committee approves their budget in a formal meeting. This group here, we had way too many questions, and we're going to let them operate because they're under the guise of National Indian Gaming Commission. We're really putting a professional resolve on bringing a great budget forward. So they're going to have to do a lot more work, but we're not going to disrupt business. We're going to our fiscal year. NIGC has to know that they have money to operate. So, Business Committee Resolution number 101-17 is on the table for approval. I did.
Okay, you can say dollar.
We haven't approved it.
Well, you didn't read it.
We have not approved it.
Oh, okay. Well, you can read it before.
Well, you'll hear it next meeting. You will.
Yeah, we're allowing them to operate because fiscal year begins October 1.
Right.
Their budget may not be approved, by that date, when the CBC meets to approve budget. So we allow them to continue to expand until we pass that budget.
All right. I see what y'all doing. Y'all acting like.
All right. Yeah, it's like,
Continuance.
it is, on this one it is.
It's
So,
continuance.
Resolution number 101-17. I do need a motion to continue. If we do not approve this, guys, I don't know, we might shut the doors. It's not like that. We're allowing them to continue.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion made by
101-17.
Secretary Treasurer to approve resolution number 101-17. To move forward, I need a second.
I second.
Seconded by Business Committee Member Odyssey. Business Committee, resolution number 101-17 is on the table for approval. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ms. Mansky,
We have these.
okay. All right. Please come forward, please. I want to make sure we have the waiver amount. Okay.
We can put it in open.
Yeah. But on this one here,
Yeah.
okay, that's executive. That's executive. Right, okay. Sure, okay. I'm sorry, folks, I gotta go to my computer to pull this one budget dollar amount out. All right, we're out of power. right to you. This is so important. We got to finish it. All right. Resolution. And this resolution comes forward, we had just talked about the tax commission. Tax commission, this year they're giving the nation almost $4 million. That starts October 1. The most the tax commission ever gave the nation was about 2.5. So, great job. Now, the best job is they're more streamlined, they're more professional. You can use your debit card over there. It's just not cash and carry, you know. We don't do checks. We don't do checks, not yet. So, whereas the Comanche Business Committee is the duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation. A motion by William Nelson Sr., and it was seconded by Clyde Narcomi at the official Comanche Nation Tax Commission's September 6, 2017 meeting to approve the Comanche Nation Tax Commission 2018 budget for the amount of $893,829 is here with affirmed approval by the Comanche Nation Business Committee. Business Committee to confirm by legal quorum meeting of our monthly meeting for the Tax Commission's budget for fiscal year 2018. I need a motion to bring this forward.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Right? Motion made by Business Committee man Narcomi. Need a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Secretary Treasurer. Business Committee to approve this budget, which we formally did as a tax commission meeting. We're bringing it forward for legal resolute law for 2018. To approve this, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those that oppose, same sign. For the record, I will label this as, actually, let's just give it what it is. Comanche Tax Commission, CTC 1. That will be the number to this. CTC 1 for the record.
Do you have a written copy of that?
I do.
Okay. I don't have it.
Okay.
Is that our official copy?
I don't think so. You got one yourself.
Okay, I better be sure.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, it is? Okay.
I don't have it in mine.
Well,
I
it's,
don't have any blank.
it's open meeting. I don't know why it went up there.
They should have been in the open meeting.
All right. Moving forward. Business Committee. Keep that one there. We tasked everybody within these entities to do their due diligence. There was hard meetings. I mean, we really went very hard at this. So we have a resolution here that, for the record, Business Committee, I am going to label it as CNE for Comanche Nation Entertainment -1.
No, I told them to go the other route.
No. This uniformity clause you guys keep talking about doesn't make sense, so. All right.
Come on.
I'm sorry. Okay. Whereas the Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designated to conduct business. A motion by William Nelson Sr., seconded by Eddie Odyssey, at the official Comanche Nation Entertainment Board of Directors, September 6, 2017 meeting to approve the Comanche Nation Entertainment 2018 budget is here with affirmed, approved by the Comanche Nation Business Committee. And on this one, Ms. Narcomi, due to our competition, you can obtain this record by our Bill of Rights, but we can't openly say this, okay? All right? All right, just wanted to clarify that. Hold on, Gabby. All right. CNE 1, we approved this budget and we're making it official today. So Business Committee. On Resolution CNE1, I need a motion to continue.
Make the motion to.
Okay. Motion to continue has been made. Motion to approve. I need a second.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, seconded. Business Committee to accept the hard work and the most relevant budget I've seen so far in my lifetime in the business world. Please signify by saying aye to approve the Comanche Nation Entertainment budget for fiscal year 2018. Please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. It was well worth it to put over, I don't know, close to 30 hours of CBC time to these budgets. But this year it's very relevant that it will be very professional. Gabby, I've ignored you too long. What do you want to say?
Is there some way that you can make the board of directors' budget and the commissioner's budget, make it part of the gaming operations to satisfy the National Gaming Act, where you don't, I don't know, where you won't have to have a, I don't know, well, I'm trying to say that in the past, we had 5 million budgets. I don't know how much it was going up and up, but I didn't want to control that because it seemed like it was getting out of hand. But since we got new commissioners, I think, and new board, maybe it may be different. But
it is different.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to mention that the forensic audit on Section 7B, on that summary in the May 2017 newspaper, it stated that the forensic auditors requested but were not provided with a list of all their tribes' credit and charge cards. And I was wondering if they ever, FBI and the IRS ever got the copies of that information. And also, the CBC can do a resolution to get the gaming board and the commissioner and the CEO of gaming to provide documents and financial information of the credit and charge cards and gift and debit cards, to provide all that information to the CBC and the FBI and the IRS. I don't know if that's ever been done before, but the CBC has that authority to make sure that information is obtained from the gaming.
Do you want an
To me,
answer?
it needs to be done because
Do you want an answer?
we've got 160 million missing unaccounted for out of gaming.
Do you want an answer?
Yeah,
Do you want an answer?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well-
It'd be a good ideal to do a resolution on that to make sure that it'll be done.
Gabby, do you want an answer?
Yeah,
Okay. The answer is this. We called upon what the forensic audit did call for, and we had a departure of a board. That's an answer. That's the revenue makers, right? Right? Right?
but why did the forensic auditor say they weren't provided with that information?
Well, we're going to confuse the audience, sir, because you've got this conjecture out there, and I'm trying to give you an answer,
Yeah.
and it's a very simple answer. The people of the past that were part of the forensic audit, they resigned. So what does that tell you?
Well, we just get that information and send it to FBI and the IRS.
Okay, all right, Gabby. We
Yeah.
will go to you
Yeah.
probably in an executive session because we can't incriminate anything else, okay?
Yep, and go back to the statute of limitations,
Statute of limitations are 5 to 7 years,
Yep.
depending on what it is.
Mayor should go back, get them charge cards. back.
Now, RICO Act, which you're alluding to, is lifetime. You can go
Oh,
back a
yeah,
lifetime.
Don't forget that one. Maybe we need to go back more years because of RICO.
Yes, sir. We understand it. It was-
Also, on the juvenile, what is our expense per year? I think he said 5 or 6 juveniles, I don't know what it is. I don't know, 10,000, 20.
About how much we spend to send
Average
somebody up
amount.
there? About how much do we spend to send one youth up there?
It's $120 a day.
For 5 or
And what
6
does the Sac and Fox? I know they come up with their own amount, you know,
Our contracted price is $120.
120. And it makes more relevant what higher education just told us. Struggling mothers trying to go to school with kids are getting less than people in jail. Oh, you know, we got to turn that thing around.
What I was trying to get at is, depending on how much money we spend on that, well, maybe we could build our own facility. I don't know. If it's
I wouldn't
that
go
big.
there. Don't get that social, Gabby.
No. Well, I don't know, it's just the ideal. I mean, you know, if, 7 years, I don't know how much we spent, but
Well, that's
just as well to have their own facility.
Well, that's why the Sac and Fox is the only juvenile detention out of 39 tribes.
Yeah.
Because most tribes don't want to see that type of environment of their own people there. That's a social nightmare.
Oh, the social deal. Yeah, I was just going by cost basis, you know.
I know.
Cost feasibility, I don't know.
It is really a social nightmare. That's a personal matter anyway. So anyway, Gabby, we're moving forward here. Business Committee, I believe we have, we got the Tax Commission, we got Comanche Nation Entertainment, and we got these items that are in executive. On our new and old business, Secretary Treasurer, the relevancy. We had somebody on new and old business, TA, last meeting. By gum. Sir, did you want to go on ahead and present your idea to the public, or did you just want to meet with us?
Just for y'all, because I want to take about 10 minutes.
Okay, sir. All right, okay. Well, you know, no decisions rendered in any executive session, so we'll hear you out, okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Red, how you doing?
Good morning. I have a question about the dividend checks.
I'm glad you said it.
What are you planning to do for the people that haven't received one? I was told 2 different stories.
What stories?
Once the program was over in October, that if you didn't get one, you probably weren't going to get one, which I don't think is right. So I want somebody to tell me what's going to happen if you didn't get one.
October 9th, Ms. Nibbs, good to see you. October 9th is the cutoff date. That's the cutoff date, all right? One good thing that this dividend check did show us is that everybody's got their addresses updated, okay? We're finding out now there's situations of dog took it, it got lost, it either got wet, or when people moved, the new tenants just threw it away. We have a thing called positive pay. There is nobody out there writing on anybody's checks. Positive pay catches it. So there's not somebody cashing your check. So it will have to come to this body in October, because our cutoff date is October 9th. It'll come to this body in October, and we'll agree if we should do the reconciliation and cancel out all those different anomalies out there and make a manual pickup for the remainder. Right now, today, Ms. Red, 98% has been cashed. 98%. So those few out there, now the one that got me, Ms. Nibbs, was the man that lived overseas. It made 7 stops before it came back to the accountant that's taking control of that. So in October, your question needs to be posed to us in open session.
Again, you mean y'all didn't come up with a
We can't do
plan
that. We can't do that.
if this happened or that happened,
We
what are we
can't,
gonna
we can't do that. We can't do that. It's a set sum. You know, we can't sit there and babysit where people live. But when it comes back and after all these 3 months, and we find out that they've never been cashed, We can cancel all those out, then come to a new decision of, well, we got this remainder. And these people, and we can't go and mail them out, and they go all over the place again. So we've got to come to that decision in October.
Well, once your date is set that whatever you're gonna do, how long after that will these people receive their checks?
It really comes right back down to, we go and send them out again, and let them bounce around again. Whatever decision we make in October, in our October meeting, Ms. Nibbs, that has to be the finality. We have to consider everything. We've got every story out there in the book, and none of them has been a story of somebody cashed my check. No, that worry is over. No one has cashed anybody's check because positive pay from that bank won't allow it.
So
It
what was
just
the
won't
date
allow it.
again? The 9th?
October 9th's the cutoff.
Okay.
The cutoff. So.
And would that be in the CBC meeting? Or?
Yes, right here. Please come back in October. We had the full standard of 90 days, okay? And October 9th is that cutoff, so.
So can we be assured that if you didn't get one by then?
I'm not a
you're gonna get
dictator,
one?
ma'am. Your power is right here, this quorum.
Well, can you ask them while we're all together?
No, ma'am, we cannot make that decision because the cutoff date is October 9th.
And the CBC meeting is October 6th.
There you go.
The CBC is October, first Saturday of the month. So the cutoff is 3 days after that. And we can't address it until the next CBC meeting.
Hopefully it'll find, who, is this, I don't want to, now this will have to go to executive session. I don't want to know a name. We don't want to have to be throwing names out there of who, what, when, where, how. But please get with the TA and just give the name, okay? Because enrollment's probably got enrollment has done a great job. They've got 7 to 10 addresses just in this last 3 months on one person. Oh my gosh. Are they moving around that much? I don't know. That's not our call. We're not postmasters. It was a nice little co-bail payment type, and I'm glad we did it, So next month, please be here, Ms. Nibbs, because we will have an announcement of per capita and elder payment and everything else. Some really good news coming in October, so. All right, ma'am. With that said, I need.
I have a question.
Sure.
You did not, well, you sort of addressed, so if somebody out there does not have a check, do they contact then the TA or they
No.
contact enrollment?
The first thing is always, we have an accountant out here that's not a part of the tribe. She's an auditor of all of this. She's impartial. She doesn't side with no one.
But who do they contact?
They contact, are you talking out of state or here?
Any place.
Okay?
I mean, if y'all have two separate, I'm just saying it so whoever's out there in TV land will know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because,
I thought you might have a situation out
No,
there.
I checked on our relatives in New Mexico because they asked me some questions, but they got their check. But, so if there's two different places, depending on if they're located in state or if they're located out of state?
No.
Okay, well, then just say it so that people in TV land will know.
Okay. It was a 1, 2, 3, A, B, C process. If you did not get your check, call 1-877-492-4988. You will be assigned to the task team that generally takes it to number 2, enrollment. Enrollment will take your new address. 3, if your check came back, the auditor, who is the only one that can check that post office box, not TA, not chairman, the auditor, who is not tribal, who is not even a tribal member. She comes and gets with enrollment, and they do a database merge to make sure the addresses is right. okay, is correct. As soon as they have the correction, she will mail out those checks, and they're still coming in. She'll mail out the second day after they've done that triple check. They'll mail those checks out. So we go down to, we've had 2 manual distributions. We had 1 distribution in August. We had a distribution, we had a distribution in July, a distribution in August, and we're going to have 1 final distribution in September. Please check our website. Please check your Facebook, Comanche Nation News. Please check your Comanche Nation newsletter. These distributions were manual, where you come in here to a location that day from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock. If you got children, bring your documentation. Bring your CDIB. We're only down to 2% of our population now that have not gotten a check. We're doing everything in our power to get this to our people. But I got to bring to your attention, there's 100 Comanches that have not taken or even gotten their per capita since 2005. There are some Comanches that just don't want to be found. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, ABC. And we put this information out on blast, media blast, email blast, newsletter blast. So finality's coming up. I'm glad Miss Nibbs came here. I know of her situation. And we've gotten it to the point of where if anybody did not have their check cash and they come here, we can find out to the letter what check number it was. And once we say, cut it all off, do not pay for anything, and then we do a reconciliation. So hopefully we get to 99% before October meeting. With that said, Mr. Secretary Treasurer, there was something that you needed to say at all?
No.
No? Okay. Anybody else?
Got a hand waving at you.
Go ahead and address it. With that said, Business Committee, I'll call for adjournment to this meeting to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made to go to executive session. I need a second.
I'll second.
Business Committee to go to executive session. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. If you guys could give us a break, and if you got a question, come on up here.
You wouldn't address me, but either you can answer it or Tia can answer it. For the fair, why are we dancing at 10 o'clock in the morning? We're dancing.
That's none of our business. We have a Comanche Fair Board that addresses that now.
Who's about where are they at?
I thought they'd be here to kind of tell us. And we have nothing to do with that, the elected. You know, this is employees. They provide their free time. They provide everything for their people. We provide the finances. We're out of it. We don't make any political moves here, at least not this group. But it's not politics. It's there for our people to have a good time. Well, ma'am, you have to bring it up with the Comanche Fair Board. The Comanche Fair Board.
Today.
Yeah, or tomorrow.
Where's she at?
Comanche County? I don't know which one they did tell me.
All right, if you guys could give us about 15 minutes, please, and then we'll call everybody on executive session.
Anyway, they